Fantasy Zone would be Volume 3 in the Sega Ages 2500 series that would have seen a release on the console as part of a lineup of remastered entries based off of arcade releases and older console releases from back in the day, primarily during the mid to late 80s. And Fantasy Zone is considered to be one of the most iconic games in the Sega lineup of classics, especially in the arcade, as the game got ports to the Sega Master System, Mega Drive, Game Gear, and it just got many other entries across the board, and been even with entries being added to modern consoles as well, and also seen different sequels and spin-offs that was also added to the series. So it's kind of like a side-scrolling shooter, but allows you to move in different directions that you can shoot behind you and in front of you. And the goal is really just to try and get to the end of the level, but trying to acquire as many points and pickups along the way as you possibly can. So after each boss, you will then be presented with a new level with different types of environments and backgrounds, and then the level of difficulty will increase the further you get into the game. So with this version, it keeps with the colourful nature of the graphics and the style, but what it does is it uses 3D cel shaded graphics for its visuals rather than the standard 2D sprites that would have been seen in the original games. But on first glance, it looks that good that in most cases you wouldn't even be able to tell the difference. The only way you would really know is that you see the animations of the ship, that how it tilts when you're moving around from side to side, which wouldn't have happened in the original games. So there's definitely a lot more little hints and little kind of quips here and there that only the keen eyes among us would actually notice, which is pretty cool though. The fact is that they took time to add in those little kind of cues here and there, that's while more so visual, but it still presents a really good experience overall. Now I remember my first experience with this game was way back on the Sega Master System. Again, I grew up with the Master System as a child and got to play many games on it, and I remember getting to play this now a good few years later. I didn't play this around the early time when I got my Master System. It was a few years later when I got to play this, and I only got to play it for a short period, but again, I was terrible at it. I was not very good at these type of vertical side-scrolling shooters at the time, but it was a fun game. I liked the graphics in it. I think that's the one thing it's always been praised for, is the cutesy style and just the simplistic nature that the game offers. But in saying that, it is a challenge. It definitely will test you, but I think it's one of the best of its kind of these type of games out there, which is why it's such a fan favourite among gamers, young and old, over the years. And it's just nice to see that they've remastered it with subtle differences. So it is a really good game. It keeps all the same nature, has the same type of control systems. It's easy to pick up and play, easy to get into, has a really good pace to the game. You can pick up power-ups for defeating enemies that pop up, and you can collect coins that you can use to build up your cash flow so that you can upgrade your ship with additional weapons, grenades, rockets, and other unique attributes that can help you to win and complete levels much easier. Plus you can also buy extra lives if you do have even more money, but on the first couple of levels that'll probably be quite tough, but you can keep playing it. As long as you don't die and lose all your lives, you should be good to go, and then you'll face off against an end of level boss that you have to defeat as well, which will increase your score. But just note as well that this game, it still keeps with the same aesthetic that was in the original. You will die with one hit. There's no health bars or anything like that in this game. This game is brutal. There's no ifs or buts about it. Like, you really will be tested in this game, so you need to be good and increase your skill to really have a chance of getting further in this game. But in saying that, that's just the way the classic arcade and even console ports were back then as well. They were the exact same. But this game just offers something a little bit different with updated visuals, and also has additional features like a gallery element that you can unlock different kind of graphical images and elements as well that you can use as you play through the game. So it's a fun way to play the game from a modern perspective. If you haven't played it, or even if you're a fan of the series, now would be a good chance to go back and play it, and even play this version itself. And I would love to know your thoughts of Fantasy Zone for the PS2, or even if you played the original arcade versions, or even the console ports seen on the Mega Drive and Sega Master System and the like. So be sure to share it down in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to be updated with future videos. And if you would like to see more content around other types of remastered games like this, also seen on the PS2, then you can check out the playlist on screen to see more of those games in action. And I will see you all in the next one.